Morning everyone. I'm Dr. Manasa, Assistant Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So I'm talking about the women rights. So as part of this, in continuation to the previous class, let us discuss about what are the rights that women have and in detail what this right is the specifically saying. So there are three kinds of the women rights in variation wise, if we can see, that is women rights as political and civil rights, as well as women rights as socio-economic rights, and women and their inherent rights. So these three kinds of rights, so how they are, in which manner they are to be given, and then to what specifications they can be applicable, let us see in detail. So coming to the first right, that is the right, women's right as a political and civil rights. So this political rights are the two parts in this, political rights as well as the civil rights. The political rights which constitute the right to vote. So the woman should be given a right to vote. So in the previous time there was no provisions for the women to get a vote, means their vote to be not counted previously. So the right to vote has come. So every woman has a right if she is becoming a major, and then right to contest in the election. So they can be as a contestant in the election for the election. So the woman is given chance to stand as some contestant in a particular party, so that the women quota also can be considered, and right, the woman's right to get, go for the campaign, so that she delivers, and then she campaigns, and the next one is the right of a woman to take part in political life, as well as peaceful assembly, and in association with the political life. So the empowerment of the woman towards participation in the politics, so that see, every woman has a right to get enter into the politics, and they can be the part of the politics. So they have the right. And in terms of the civil rights, if we can see, so the civil rights, that means that in the social life or the civilized country, how what are the rights that she has. So when she woman is living in a society, what kind of the rights that a woman can possess are constituted about the civil rights. So which includes free and equal citizenship in a democratic country. So the woman should be given a equal citizenship, and it should be free. The civil rights constitute free and equal citizenship in the democratic country. So that means that the woman should be given a equal citizenship as well as a freedom as that of the men in a democratic country, and they are basic rights such as first of all is the right to live the life first. So there should be a chance, means it is not that the men only is considered, or they have the freedom to do, or they have the right to live, but the women are equally contributed to this, and then the right to life, and the women are equally contributed to for the society economic empowerment. Hence they have right to live, and the liberty, they should have the freedom to express their own interest and choices, and they should be given a freedom of right. So they have the right to live freely, and the right to the equality. So the women should be given an equal treatment as that of men they should be considered equally treated in the all aspects of the society. In case it can be at home or at the school or at the workplace or in the society or in the anywhere in terms of work as well as the participation of women. So it is not based on the gender she should be considered, but with the capabilities and equal opportunities to be provided by the any organizations or the society that is having within, and the freedom of speech and expression. So every woman has a right to express their feelings as well as to talk. So she can express her own feelings, that if means if something is happening, so every woman has a right to express their own way of opinions, as well as the freedom of religion. So with respect to the religion also, some religious aspects are constraining women to not to come out or either to um, like based on their religious perspective and all. Higher studies are not allowed, or the woman is not allowed to go out alone, or it can be like they don't have a freedom to choose the groom during the marriage, or these are the constraints that with respect to the religion or some aspects she may not accept those. So at the time the woman has right to express the freedom of religion. So I want freedom in this religion, so that right she has, as well as the last one, the right to access to the information. So many women are lagging behind mainly because of the lack of information, that is their access for the information is not at all proper, because the accessions that are provided may not reach to the many women. Instead, they lose many opportunities and they don't know what is happening in terms of their field or in the societal manners. So, hence, these freedom for the access should be given for the women as well. So, these all kind of the rights, the civil rights are considered to be the first generation rights, because these are prime and foremost important rights that women should know first of all, and then she has to experience. So these are the basic things which she needs right for these. In fact, so she should have a right to live, and then freedom from the harassment as well, and the liberty means the girl should be um, given freedom to do her own individual things, and as well as equality, and in the in the workplace as well as the family, for the equality in the society as well as at the home. So and the access to the uh, information as well as their medical health and all. And so it is not like the only woman is doing a burden of work, but she's not exposing what is her rights to live. So every woman should know what are the basic rights that they have and what kind of rights they possess first, and whether do they have access for all things that they wish to do. So these are the primary and basic things that every woman should know. And so these civil and political rights ensure that they give a protection for the citizens from interference from the other kind of obstacles. So these are the civil and political rights are the main important rights that women should have. And the reality is that despite equal political as well as civil rights that they have, but women are unable to enjoy them. This is the fact that by laws and like by the constitution, or every nation says that we have equal opportunities rights for women, and then but still the outcome that you see is the very less number of women who are coming in the prestigious stages, or can be there are many kind of harassments or discrimination going in every country in fact. So that means that though they have means with the on the paper they have the rights and all, and they are showing that my country is giving these many opportunities, but real in reality they are not taken 100% by the women, either because of lack of information that they have rights to get this, or it can be that the inheritance that is coming from the culture and a family, or can be the society from in which where they are living is not allowing. And at the same time if there are places that women trying to get the opportunities, there is always opposition or violence can and it can be harassment things that is stopping women to get out, and they have the fear that if I try go for the either workplace or the higher education, I may face this. So the many of the people are not willing to use the whatever the chances or the opportunities they have provided with because of these things that is happening in the country. So, women's representation in the union and state legislations are negligible. So, very less number of people who are coming out and standing in a very higher legislative um, place. So, that is very negligible that we can see. And there has been a strong debate regarding the quota as a tool for political empowerment of women. So, previously, there was a debate that the women should be given some quota, means especially they have to be driven under that scheme, so that it can be a kind of encouragement for the women to get participated in the many fields. So one of that is it led to the introduction of 73rd and 74th amendments, which says that one third of the membership, that is 33% of the women in the three-tier system of the local self-government in rural areas, as well as local self-government in municipalities in the urban areas. So that 33% of the women can reserve their place, that they, so that it kind of a booster or the encouragement for the women to get into the politics and at the higher stages. So this 33% quota reservation has come as a encouragement to the women's participation. And the three-tier system consists of village, block, and district level. So at every level of the um, uh, constituencies, then this 33% reservation is given such that the women are moving forward to be part of the politics. So one third of the women seats are from the women of scheduled caste as well as for the scheduled tribes. So with respect to the underdeveloped castes also, this reservation has been given, and this has been seen as a landmark achievement in the area of political empowerment of the women. So along with this, there has also been a debate regarding the reservation with respect to the legislative representation. So means with respect to means as a member of parliament, or can be like the top lead kind of things, like the prime minister, or the higher stages like Rashtrapati, and also at that level also the reservation must be given such that it could be a much more encouragement for the women. The women movement in India has been demanding the reservation in the parliament and as well as in the state assemblies, so that many participation of the women can lead, can be a part of the politics. So, however, it appears to be the lack of political will execute or actualize the women reservation bill. So, but though these are there, so many of the politicians are lack of this execution means 33% reservation execution is getting failed in many cases of this assemblies or something this where the this reservation bill is not at all passed or it is not at all followed. So this is what the civil and the political rights. So, however, the numerous facts which create problems in women's participation in political as well as the public life. So, most of the women are financially dependent on others, or either they are a lack of the economic resources. First of all, they do not know that what kind of resources are available, and many are they are financially dependent on others, so hence they may not be willing to get participated in the politics and all. So since and another cause can be they either they may be illiterate or they have a little education and they are unable to participate as equally as the men. So the willingness of the men towards the participation in the politics is may not be as that as same as that of the women with respect to the women. So the very less number of women will be willing to move towards the politics. So the lack of access to the relevant information and though the information is given, it gets misguided. They carry huge burden of responsibilities of home, which keep them preoccupied with household things, and hence they do not have the time or can we think of going for this kind of the legislative purpose and all the participation in the social as well as the civil and political life. So let us see the next one, that is women's right as a socio-economic right. So in terms of social and economic rights, so how far they are and what kind of rights that women has is the socio-economic rights constitute one is right to get food. So they are equally have the right to get the food as well as the shelter, and this is most important that the all women have the medical right to get medical care, so which is lacking most, and most of the women always have some or the other problem because of the self negligence of the health care. So in and as well as the right to get employment or to get work, as well as the right to get the social security. So these socio-economic rights are of all these to have food, shelter, medical care, and work, as well as the security in the society. So they are popularly known as the second generation rights or the welfare rights. So it is with respect to the welfare things that is to the women. So these rights are vital for complete development and full participation in the society. So these first generation as well as second generation rights must be there, so as to get the means either in their active participation and for the self wise for their welfare. So these rights must be known to the every woman and they have to get utilized of these rights, so they ensure the well-being of the citizens. So most of the people either they are dependent and they do not have the shelter, or many are lacking the women's health, so they do not know what kind of health rights they have, and security also is the main factor that they face always the fear of going out. So the woman has the security right as well. So if you have any problem, you have right to express that there is security lack in the society. So you need get the security so that you can express that, but many of the women do not know that they have these rights, but instead they are fear of going to the workplace or to carry the higher education. This is what happening, so their rights are not seriously taken. So this is what happening in fact. They are always seen as the subjects of states rather than active participations and agents of the change. There is always a need for the change in the orientation of the government as well as the societies towards the women. So simply proposing the laws and keeping these rights you have, it doesn't mean that towards a improvement of the nation, but how far you are followed these rights and how far you are reaching to the people with respect to the women, how much people you are reaching. So how far effective is to knowing to the people what kind of allowances or the chances rights they have in a society is a matter. So always change of orientation with the government and keeping some kind of awareness programs is the must thing that should be carried out. So that is being carrying out to know that women should be aware of the rules, rights that they have. The women need to be empowered so that they can participate equally and effectively in on issues related to their lives. So it will equip women to be a part of decision making process in the society as well as in the polity. So women should be given freedom to express their decision the opinion. So they should be the decision making partners in the society. The women battle persistently for the land rights as well as the right for the water and forest produce. So though they do the hard work, but the very less number of the people were having the right to for the property to get the on lands on their own, means property right they are lacking, and they are not the though they work hard and they are not in fact earning the productive the income from the work that they do, that is mainly in terms of the agriculture. So though the hard work has been mostly done in the field of agriculture by the women, but they do not know what kind of income that they are going to possess. So these are the things. So coming to the next one, women and inherent rights. So what kind of inherent rights that they constitute is women's are consistency denied inherent rights and their lack of access to the all productive resources. They bear no entitlement of land or any kind of the property. So the traditionally lands has been on the basis of the political power or the status. It proves that it provides a security against the poverty. So always the woman is being in the poverty level. The millions of the women depend on the land for their livelihood. Endowing women with land will empower them in the economic terms. So the freedom to live and or the freedom to have the property on their own, that is with respect to the women is not means happening so quickly because very less women have their own properties, and though they being the primary role of the things, but still the ownership has not been given to the women, and many of the women do not know what kind of these means whether they have the right to get the property also. So the Hindu Succession Act of 1956 that made that sons and the daughters as well as widows are equally claimant in a man's separate property in his share in a joint family. Like if a father has a son and a daughter and the like a wife, so that he so to be shared equally with the three members, but that is not at all followed. To be frank, though the acts are already been there, but many do not know these things. However, it treats agricultural land differently from the other property. The woman inheritance is tenancy land and also depends on the state laws in India. In a joint family property, sons but not the daughters have the inherent right. So only the son is getting the property from their father, but not the daughters. So Hindu laws still does not give a woman equal rights in the ancestral property. By the end, by and large, all religions deny. They always been opponent to that. Women have equal property rights. So no religion or the ancestral properties, the culture, the customs that is followed always do not agree with this, that the women have the equal property right for the land that is coming from the father. So they have limited rights to inherit it. Divorced women face a major hurdles in claiming the maintenance for themselves as well as their for children. So that property after the divorce is not at all split equally, but they are given very few amount of money or the property, which may not be sufficient for the maintenance of themselves as well as for the children. It also enables them to fight political as well as social gender inequality better. So this law is saying about that the woman has the right to get the equal share, but thing is it is not happening, especially in the India, because from the inheritance or from the ancestral the rules, and they have their own religious customs, and also they say that always the property goes to the son, but not to the daughters. As and next, coming to the next law, the constitutional provision and the law. So what the constitution is providing, what kind of rights it is providing. So Indian constitution provides equal rights to the men as well as women. So for all citizens, rights are equal. It grants political rights to the women on equal standing with the men under the universal adult suffrage. So for every adult, though it can be men or women, they are treated equally. There are the list of fundamental rights such as right to the equality and right to freedom, right to the religion, and right against exploitation. So these things are given in the constitution of the Indian constitution rights. So these rights exist to protect the individuals from atrocities from the state as well as the fellows of the citizens. So these rights are believed to be inviolable and they are not justifiable. So in case of their encroachment, Supreme Court of India can be approached for the justice. So there is court or the justice means kind of the courts are there. You can approach for the justice. The fundamental rights represent equal status granted to the both men and women. So first of all, everyone should know that they are given the rights, but you don't know that you are the part of the equal rights that you possess. So that is lack of the information. However, we find in reality that women are deprived even of their fundamental rights. So they are deprived of these rights, and traditional society structure and pattern make it difficult for the women to enjoy their rights. The socio-economic context or the patriarchal institutions or the traditions which make rights inaccessible for the women. So that is what happening. Though the Indian constitution also has the always courts, laws, judges, all are there, but you are approached to that. First of all, you are not allowed to access those. So there's the traditional, that is society structure that is coming, or the patriarchal things that is coming from the ancestors is not allowing to the get use of those first. So unfortunately, the law and the legal institutions are not much helpful for the women. The existing laws are not gender sensitive, as well as many grieving women are unaware of the existing laws and legal remedies the lack of courage to protest against the oppressor of fear, because they may get the bad name, desertion by the family, or it can be the violence from the society if that is being means if someone goes and express that they have a problem, so they are afraid of these things. So these laws, though laws are there, the women are not at all means not, these laws are not much helpful for the women. So coming to the next law, that laws prevent the crime against women. The number of laws exist to protect the women from the abuse as well as the crime. Some of the important laws are equal remuneration and prevention of immoral traffic, and the Sati, that is Widow Burning Act, as well as the Dowry Protection Act. So this dowry provision law declares giving or taking dowry as a punishable offence. So though it is stated punishable offence, that no one is following that, but still the dowry is being followed over the generations. If the bride dies under suspicious conditions with 1 year of her marriage, the husband and in-laws are the prime suspect, and they may get punishment if proved guilty. So always this is there. The government has passed legislation to curb the misuse of amnesial sentence for sex selection as well as abortion of the female fetus. So if someone is known that they aborting, then the government has a strict punishment. So this is by law that you should not go for the feticide. So that is the severe punishment is given. An amendment was passed in 1976, that is a Child Marriage Restraint Act, which says that raised minimum legal age for the marriage of a woman should be, like previously it was 15 and it is raised to the 18 for a young woman, and for the men it has raised from 18 to 21. So if you are, if a girl is getting married before this age, and then the this under this the Child Marriage Restraint Act, they are seriously punishable. So all these laws and courts everywhere are there to protect the women. So thing is we have to use them properly and get to know what are the rights that you possess. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.